Good evening. Good evening. I don't usually shoot my videos at night time, but honestly, this was the only time of day where I could really get a chance to shoot. And it's kind of annoying because daylight savings here in Australia is an absolute bastard, so right now the sun's setting way too early. Anyway, I want to tell you a really quick story from the other day. So I was on a walk in a park very similar to the one I'm in right now, and there was a lake nearby, and so there were families having picnics, there were people going for walks, people with their friends just hanging out, people running, getting some exercise in, all the sort of stuff you usually see in a park. And I was going for a walk through there, and I just spot this girl with camera just snapping photos, kind of walking a little bit, then taking photos of the lake, taking photos of the birds. And I kind of just stopped for a moment when I was walking. I just started smiling at her, and almost immediately in my head I started going like, oh, don't do that, that's rude, I don't want to come across as weird, I don't want to bother her, I don't want to be rude, all these typical excuses that your brain comes up with in these types of situations. But in that moment I just said fuck it, I shut all that off, and I just went up to her and I said hi. I think I said something along the lines of, oh, how many photos have you taken? And then she said something back like, oh, are you from here? Because I noticed that she had a French accent, so she obviously wasn't from Australia. And yeah, we started a pleasant little conversation because she wanted to know about Australia, where I was from. I wanted to know about France, where she was from, why she came here when traveling. And yeah, it started off as a very light and pleasant conversation. And the entire conversation lasted about 20 minutes. And it's really funny because by the end of that 20 minutes, it was one of the most meaningful and deep conversations I had had in a long time. Only in 20 minutes. It was really funny. And I say this story because, and I won't go into the details because a lot of it is like personal details on her end, but like as a whole, I basically told her things and she told me things that I could tell we probably hadn't even, at least for me, I hadn't even told close friends, right? And this is with someone I just met. Yeah, but it was a really nice connection that we built. And I say this story because what if I just listened to that voice in my head that was saying, no, I don't want to be rude, I don't want to be weird, and I just continued walking? Then she would have just stayed a stranger, just another person out in public, and now she's someone I've actually built a connection with. That person is a friend. Someone who was once a stranger is now a friend that you've built a meaningful connection with. And I think this is the real power of talking to strangers, or just people that you come across in your day-to-day life. And this isn't the first time that something like this has happened. I mean, obviously, other conversations I've had with just people that I come by in my day-to-day life haven't exactly turned into this big, deep, personal, conversation or anything like that. Sometimes it's as simple as just saying, hi, how are you doing? You're not supposed to approach people wanting anything from them. And the fact that I have to bring that up is honestly kind of fucking sad. Because, and I've spoken to a few older folks as well, and a lot of them love to talk about my generation, and one of the most common things a lot of them say is something along the lines of, oh, nobody really speaks or trusts each other anymore, because they all think if you come up and say hi or how are you, they all think you want something from them. Like, because back in their day, people just spoke to each other for the sake of just speaking to each other. And it's like, I hear that all the time, and I'm like, what happened? And it's so funny because then these people kind of follow it up with, oh, I wish more people were like you, and just came up and said hi. Why not you? Why not be the one to break the ice? Because chances are, if you're like so many people, so many people nowadays will complain that they're lonely, that they have mental health issues, all this sort of stuff that you've heard. People are fucking watching the news and seeing people getting killed and, not sliced up with machetes every day, and all this bad. And in their head, they create this, vision or current vision of the world that everything's falling to shit, that nothing's going right, that the fucking world is just nothing but a hellhole full of bad people. And then because of social media and, the news, and fucking anything else on the internet, to be totally honest, in a day and age where we're so connected, we're more disconnected than ever. This is a phrase you've probably heard a million times. We hear it so many times, and yet we still feel it. And that's because it's scary. For example, the whole loneliness thing. Like, that's something even though I've got very great people in my life, very great friends, very great family, I'm very blessed. I've always wanted to, because I've always been a shy kid, and so part of the reason why I started speaking to other people was to not only just get better at speaking to people that I don't know and build connections with people, but to also just get a better perception of the world. Because when you see the world through the eyes of the internet and all this bullshit that just stimulates and, makes you scared, tries to get you angry, all these really intense emotions just to get your attention because, cash grab, fucking, I don't know, it's good for business. How about actually go out into the world, spot someone who just looks kind of cool, maybe they have like a cool style, or maybe they're like taking photos like what I saw, and just go up and say hi. I don't give a fuck if you're scared. You probably won't. I get scared all the time. It's actually really funny. Sometimes I'll like walk past someone and I'm like, all right, say hi, and I don't say hi, and then I'm like, oh fuck. And it's this whole like inner monologue, just bullshit scandal that just goes on. And it's like sometimes you just have to force your feet to walk forward and just say hi. You don't need any fancy opening lines, or you don't want to like get something out of them. Just walk up, say hi, how are you doing? Oh, you've got a really cool style. I just can't want to walk up to you and compliment that. Oh, you're taking photos. What are you photographing? What have you been up to? Just be honest. Sometimes I've approached people and be like, oh, to be totally honest, this year in particular, I want to get a better perception of people and the world around me, and I feel like a really good way is to, talk to people. And they love that. Honesty beats just trying to impress others and put on a performance for others. Just be fucking honest. And I don't know, this is just what I've done, but I really do think just approaching strangers and just the people that you come about in your daily lives, you don't have to do it all the time, obviously, and something I will quickly address is that not everyone's going to want to talk, and that's totally fine. Worst case scenario, you walk up to them, oh, I can't really talk right now, sorry, I'm busy, I've got to go here, or they don't even respond to you. It's like, big fucking deal. It's not the end of the world, you're not going to die. And some people are just like that. They don't want to talk, and it's not personal. Our egos think it's personal for whatever reason, but it's not personal because they don't even know us. And so I'm really sorry, because this video was kind of a rant and I was all over the place, and I'm all over the place. But that's just my experience, and that's what's worked for me. And I really think there's a lot of value in just talking to new people that you come across. And I know it's hard, you're gonna feel scared, you're not gonna want to do it. Just do it, have conversations, and you'll be surprised what you'll find out about the other people that you speak to. You might actually have a really beautiful interaction like I did a couple of days ago. Yeah. But either way, I'll tell you one thing, you will not regret it. Just like anything else in life that's hard, that you don't want to do, but you know is beneficial, you will never walk away regretting it. So, yeah, I don't know, just to finish off, just break the ice. Be the person who goes and says hi. And yeah, because, I don't know, if you're feeling lonely, if you're just unhappy and you want to push yourself a bit more, this is a great way to do it. And you get so much value, because humans are social creatures. This is something we're meant to do. And yeah. Get out there, talk to people. Cheers.